All right, we are combining today a little bit of review with a little bit of problem solving. We are going to start on page 711 of your math workbook. So 711, we'll start there where it says check my progress. And this is just a little review of what we talked about before about our 3D shapes. And page 711, the first one says draw an X on the objects that are not shaped like a sphere. So not shaped like a sphere. We have to draw an X. So I'll go grab my pen here, and you grab a pencil or a crayon to work with. So we're talking about objects that are not shaped like a sphere. So this first one is an orange, and it is definitely shaped like a sphere. So we don't need to worry about that. This one's a film canister, which we probably don't even see anymore because our cameras don't use film, but it is the shape of a cylinder. So we're going to put an X on that because it's not a sphere. This next one looks like some sort of a bulb or something. Definitely the shape of a sphere. The next one is a party horn. This party horn would be the same shape as a cone. A cone. So we're going to put an X on it because it is not shaped like a sphere. All right, so for number 2, it says draw an X on the objects that are not shaped like a cylinder, So the first one is a globe. That's the same shape as a sphere, so it is not a cylinder. The next one is a can of paint. And we said before that those cans are all in the shape of a cylinder. They have a circle on the top, a circle at the bottom, and they're round. So that definitely is a cylinder. The next one looks like some sort of a canned vegetable, also the shape of a cylinder, even though it's laying on its side. It doesn't change what shape it is. The next one is a box of spaghetti, and that's a rectangular prism. Definitely not a cylinder, definitely not round with the 2 circles on the top and the bottom. Those are not cylinders. All right, so let's check number 3, the question number 3 here. It says that we are to name the first shape in the row. So what is that first shape? It's a cone, and it doesn't matter that it's laying this direction. It's still a cone. It's got a circle on the bottom part of it here, and it goes up to a point. So we named the shape in the row. It is a cylinder, a cone. It's a cone. And then compare it to the shapes of the objects in the row. Circle the matching shape. So we need to find what shape over here is a cone. A cone. Now this definitely looks like a sphere. Looks like a head of cabbage. It's a sphere, so that's definitely not a cone. What about the party hat? It is in the shape of a cone, so we're going to give that a circle. And that water cooler, it looks like a cylinder to me. Go ahead and turn the page to page 712. Page 712. And what they're asking us to do is to name the first shape and compare it to the objects and then circle the one that matches. So this next shape here is a cube, and we have to find the object in that row that is the same shape as a cube. Same shape as a cube. So what do you think? No, that looks like a cone. That's more of a sphere. But what about the box? Yes, that is definitely the same shape as a cube. All right, now we're looking at this stack here of cans for number 5. It says identify the first objects in the row. Those are cylinders. Those are cans stacked on each other. Describe them. Well, they all have flat tops and bottoms that have a circle, right? They are rounded on the edges. Now, we have to circle the other objects in the row that can stack in the same way. Now, can you stack a sphere? No, it'll just roll away like what you saw in the video. And what about this one? Can you stack it this way, one on top of the other? No, because nothing will balance on that point. You can definitely set this on top, but then you can't stack anything else up here. So the only object in this row that you could stack, like the way you can stack these cylinders one on top of the other, would be the cube or the box. All right, check out number 6. Number 6 says, Identify the first object in the row. So what shape is this? It's a sphere. That soccer ball is the shape of a sphere, and it's round. It doesn't have any flat surfaces at all. So we are supposed to circle the other shapes that roll. The other shapes that roll. So you have to think about that video again. What about a cone? Does it roll? It does roll. It's rounded all the way around, that cone is, and it does roll. It rolls in a circle, doesn't roll across the room. It'll just roll around in a circle, but it does roll. What about a cylinder? Does it roll? Yes. If it's on its side like this, it will roll right across the room. What about a cube? Does a cube roll? Not at all. Not at all. All of those flat surfaces and edges and vertices do not let a cube roll. All right, let's check out number 7. Number 7 says, identify the first object in the row. That present is the shape of a cube, right? It has flat surfaces, has squares on every side. It has 6 of them. And circle the other shapes in the row that slide. Okay, now there are some shapes that do both. So if a cylinder is on its flat surface here, it's got a circle on the bottom, would it slide? Absolutely, it would slide. What about a sphere? Would it slide? No, it would just roll, right? What about our cone? We said that if it were on its side, that it might do that. But if it's on the flat surface, that circle, it would slide too. So some of your 3D shapes will slide, and some of them will roll, and some of them will stack. All right, now I want to take a quick look at the problem solving. This is going to be super fast. It's on page 713, and then I'm going to let you do some work on your own. It says, what will stack on the cube? So we're looking up here at what objects we could have down there that would stack on top of that cube. Now, it's already done for you, so all you have to do is trace the circles. Yes, the cylinder would stack because it has 2 flat surfaces, so you could stack it. You couldn't stack the sphere because it would just roll away, but you could also stack another cube on top of that cube. Absolutely. Turning the page to page 713. Now, this one isn't done for you. We can do this one on our own. It says, what will stack on the cylinder? Which of these shapes will stack on the cylinder? So I'm going to grab my pen here. What about a cube? A cube's really good at stacking, right? Just like a block, it stacks really well. Could you stack this other cylinder on top of that cylinder? Sure, because that has a flat surface. You could line up those 2 circles and it would stack just fine. But could you stack that sphere? No. It would roll away, it wouldn't stay. And here's our last page that we're going to do together, page 700. Oh, no, wait, it isn't the last page that we're going to do together. This is page 715. It says, what will stack on the cone? What will stack on the cone? Now, let's think about what will stack on that cone. On top of this cone, what do you think? I don't think any of those are going to stack on that cone, do you? It would have to balance on that very tip. So this would fall, this would fall, this would fall, and this would also fall. Nothing would be able to stack on top of that cone. There just isn't any way that it would. It would end up falling off. You'd have to be a very good balancer. All right, now let's take a look at what will stack on the cube. There we go. Let me grab my pen. What will stack on this cube? Could you stack that cylinder up there? Sure, that would work. How about another cube? Could you stack another cube up there? Absolutely. And what about your sphere? Could you stack that sphere up here on top? No, it would just roll away, right? It would just roll right away. Now, I'm going to have you do page 717, which is already kind of done for you, and page 718 on your own, and then you can go ahead and upload your work to Schoology.